2016, and if you'd have told me this would happen, I would not have believed it. Of course, this is the new, long-awaited addition to one of my favorite game series of all time. But let's get to the game at hand, with you taking orders from a dude that's totally not General Graves. And I guess you're qualified to save the day. Anyway, the narrator reveals that the world is on the brink of large-scale new changes. It kind of throws you in head first. Though after this, you simply click and drag to customize your required power source to function further. Great components, they also just look badass all set up like a 23rd century Jay Leno's garage. All of a sudden, boom! And I don't want to reveal anything more here because spoilers. But who cares about plot if the gameplay is amazing, right? After this, you're free to do anything you want, which at first is going to... So what do you get? Adequacy, my friend. Adequacy. Followed by dying, even at 70 hours in. But no matter what, you're presented a highly enjoyable... Each come attached with a unique ability, and there's also skill trees, side dungeons, hub towns, co-op, looting of random weapons or armor, and visual character customization. And while several areas are admittedly gorgeous to look at, most of it strikes me as generic and kind of out of place. I was really hoping they'd revisit some more levels like the tutorial level, but nope. The rest of the game is filled with stock, followed by, this is getting boring. Followed by, filled with stock, followed by, stock, followed by, this is getting boring. Look, drab corridors. Here's an area filled with corridors. Great! And while the last couple levels are a little more interesting, I think, there's still not a whole lot of valuable stuff to really do in there. Every so often you'll find but I never found one that was worth my time. Usually these consist that'll net you a paltry amount of XP, ammo, and cash. Combine this with the fact that get insanely repetitious by the end of the... And I cast aside my normal practice of instead just ran from point A to point B to expedite the next level's arrival. Okay, so the story is barely there and the levels are lacking. Well, passable is a word that comes to mind. Feels decent. And yes, you slowly gain experience points for killing things, which in turn unlocks a nominal set of improvements to kill more things. Nothing really stands out about it for me. It does what it needs to do and calls it a day. There are a few token skills to unlock, and the rest is the standard fare of upgrading. The weapons are where most of the upgrades lie, and you steadily unlock. Some of the later upgrades definitely have a lot more kick than the starter ones, especially once you start adding things like explosive rounds, but none of them stand out to me, and each one simply performs its obvious role. Whatever. Granted, they've got silly names, but these corny jokes are no substitution for enjoyment when using these weapons. That oomph factor isn't there for any of them to me, and that's disappointing considering how much you have to use them. This has to be a joke, right? Instant headache, and anytime you have to use a menu, it's unbelievable. Game's overall unstable nature. In one full playthrough, I had 9 crashes to the desktop, 1 crash of my entire PC, and I didn't even experience a single crash or game-breaking bug in my entire playthrough. It's worth noting that I am playing this on, and they have since fixed the show-stopping bugs I had, so that's good. But there's all the rest of it still, so I worry about the status for everyone else. Man, this is a bummer. Getting a game I had hopes for from a developer that I really respect and then having to pick it apart is never fun. Well, I mean, yes and no. At this point, I've spent 70 hours. Still seems like I've got a lot more to do before I can fully appreciate all of its changes, but I'll explain in detail as we go along. So let's kill it with kindness for a few, shall we? And that's the next big change in the game, the combat. But it's also still a bit unpredictable. There's always a chance that you'll miss, even with a high hit percentage, and I love that. It's a pleasing mixture of dice rolls and dexterity, and it rarely leaves me feeling cheated by the result. Melee weapons also finally feel amazing to use, which has completely changed how I approach long range and close quarters combat. Most of the time it looks pretty fantastic. Yeah, the PC version leaves a bit to be desired, like weird pathfinding. I have no doubt that patches and mods will help some of this stuff later on, but still, I'd hope this kind of crap would be ironed out by now, seeing as it's like, man, there are some excellent ones on offer here that provide some captivatingly unique dilemmas to solve. If you equip yourself properly and level up enough, you probably won't need power armor most of the time anyway, due to the copious perks you earn. And yes, the perk system has changed, and skills have been replaced by this new perks system. When you level up, you'll be able to apply attribute-based perks. In order to unlock later perks, you'll have to have a certain special stat level as a base. And in my experience, it leads to either a super specialized character, and I do like the fact that you're not dealing with vague numbers anymore, and instead just have a hard upgrade level. You're not worrying, oh, is 37 what I need? No, I like playing while reclining in front of a big TV. There are some neat additions as well. Gather resources, and you craft building materials using resources found within the game world. In fact, practically every single item in-game can be broken down into crafting materials, and the game's looting system has been optimized as well to where you don't have to open a menu to grab things, and the more you level up your character, the more items you are able to craft. But it's an impressive addition to the game and is one of my favorite things to do. And did I mention that crafting also applies to weapons, armor? Yes! This game, the moment I realized I could take any old weapon and turn it into a total death machine with the right components, and man, that kind of connection to just your normal stuff is wonderful. I mean, my previous gameplay strategies went out the window as soon as I discovered all this stuff, and I welcomed that change of pace. You can go full on with these weapons now with such a massive variety of arms that it's intoxicating to keep playing and see what else there is. And then I figured out that you could not only use full body armor. Oh man, that kind of customization and open-ended gameplay is precisely what I desire. It makes sense in this kind of world. Being able to make your own new weapons out of duct tape and screws, or mixing your own, that's just awesome. 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 Most places that you visit will respawn mobs and loot after a while into a never-ending sandbox. Finally, there are a slew of neat little additions and changes that really set this one apart, like improved animations, weapons, and more than ever, including an excellent music selection. I am an absolute sucker for a game that allows for this kind of freedom, replayability, and customization in a dense open world. Especially, I love that aesthetic, and it provided enjoyment for me in ways I did not expect. So from my perspective, the overall experience has just been one of the single best for me in years, and I know not everyone will be into this, and dude, I can totally, absolutely understand that headspace. I can now say with confidence that this is my favorite to date, and it's a whole lot bigger. Not only is it bursting at the seams, sense of verticality that is most refreshing, and many of these areas are aesthetically gorgeous when it all comes together, with excellent art direction, sound design, and creating some of the most compelling game locales in recent memory. Plus, the soundtrack is freaking excellent if you ask me. As a fan of chilling ambient soundscapes, this is all brilliant fun to soak in. I'm playing this on a PC, so that stuff stands out even more. For one thing, the song rocks, the loading screen music rocks, and while the background track, there are even a few of those that stand out, like this one. And as a huge fan of their legacy, I was quite happy. And finally, maybe it's supposed to be stoic, but it was a bit much. For every awesome thing it has going for it, it lets me down with two more. I can't imagine ever giving it a shot. That said, I still look forward to seeing what the team it comes up with next, but for me...
Fuck out of here.
What? You didn't even like me? Oh my god!
I can't fucking do it if he doesn't do it!
Shut the fuck up! Damn! What the fuck? Hey, holy shit, teammates!
What? Yeah. Fucking awesome.
What the fuck?
Oh my god! Fucking night top!
Oh my god! You got me fucking kidding me! What the fuck? What the fuck? Damn!
Fucking!
Fuck out of here.
What? You didn't even like me? Oh my god!
I can't fucking do it if he doesn't do it!
Shut the fuck up! Damn! What the fuck? Hey, holy shit, teammates!
What? Yeah. Fucking awesome.